There's a theory in animal behavior that most cat owners never hear, that when a domestic cat bonds with a human, something unusual happens neurologically. They don't fully mature the way a wild cat would. Certain behaviors from kittenhood, ones that were biologically designed for one specific relationship, stay active permanently, and they get redirected toward you. What that means is that your cat may not see you as a friend, or a roommate, or even an owner. They may see you as something closer than any of that. Here are 6 things your cat does that reveal exactly how deep that bond actually goes. 1. They fall asleep pressing into you. You've probably seen it dozens of times without thinking much of it. Your cat climbs onto your lap, starts rhythmically pushing their paws into you, soft, slow, repetitive, and within minutes they're asleep. It looks almost meditative. And in a way it is. That behavior, the pressing, the kneading, originates in the first hours of a cat's life. Newborn kittens press against their mother's body to encourage milk flow. It is one of the earliest physical experiences they have, and it is inseparable from warmth, nourishment, and the feeling of being completely safe. Here's what makes this significant: cats don't need to knead as adults. There's no biological function it serves once they're weaned. And yet many cats never stop doing it, specifically in one context, and specifically with one person. The distinction matters. A cat might briefly need a soft blanket or an unfamiliar surface, but the full sequence, slow deliberate presses, heavy eyes, a deepening purr, drifting into sleep, that's not about the texture beneath their paws. That's about who they're lying on. Behavioral research into feline attachment has found that certain infantile comfort behaviors in adult cats appear almost exclusively in the presence of their primary attachment figure. Your cat outgrew needing their mother. They didn't outgrow needing. They just reassigned where that need lives. 2. They have a language they only speak with you. Adult cats, in the absence of humans, are largely quiet animals. They use scent, posture, and subtle body signals to communicate with each other. The meow, that particular vocalization, is used almost exclusively by kittens and almost exclusively directed at their mother. It's a contact call. "Oh, where are you? I need you," rolled into one sound. Most cats functionally stop using it as they mature into independence, unless they live with a person they've bonded to. With you, the mew doesn't disappear. It evolves. What's remarkable about this is the degree of personalization involved. Your cat hasn't just kept making the same kitten sound. They've developed specific variations, particular tones for different needs, a pitch that reliably gets your attention, a rhythm to the back and forth that you've both fallen into without ever consciously building it. Research into domestic cat communication has found that this vocal repertoire is genuinely tailored. Cats adjust and refine their vocalizations based on the specific responses they get from a specific person over time. That means the sounds your cat makes with you are, in a measurable sense, unique. Other people may get a meow or two. What you get is a communication system your cat constructed specifically around you, one that started the moment they decided you were worth the effort of being understood by. 3. Coming home resets something in them. You were gone for 20 minutes, maybe less, and when you open the door, your cat responds as though the reunion required celebration. The tail goes vertical, straight up, sometimes with a slight curve at the tip. There are sounds, short, bright chirps and trills that are distinctly different from ordinary meowing. And then the weaving, their whole body moving in figure eights around your legs, flanks pressing against you, the base of their tail sweeping across your shins. Every element of that greeting has a specific origin. The vertical tail is a signal kittens use when approaching their mother. It's a display that communicates safety, recognition, and the absence of threat. The trilling sounds are contact calls from the kitten to mother vocabulary, not the sounds cats typically use with other adults. The full body weaving deposits scent from glands along their cheeks, flanks and tail. It's a marking behavior, but not a territorial one. It's a bonding one. They're not claiming you as property. They're reasserting that you belong together. Studies examining feline attachment behavior have found measurably increased affiliative responses in bonded cats after even brief separations from their primary caregiver. Your cat's nervous system genuinely registers your absence as a gap. When you return, their body responds not just with recognition, but with something closer to relief. 4. They track you through the house. There's a pattern you might recognize. You move to the kitchen, your cat appears. You settle in the bedroom, they're already there when you arrive or just behind you. You close the bathroom door and shortly after a paw slides underneath it with focused, unhurried determination. It's easy to interpret this as curiosity or as food-motivated calculation, but the behavior predates both of those explanations developmentally. In the early weeks of a kitten's life, proximity to their mother isn't a preference, it's survival. Kittens that stray too far from the nest don't have the regulation systems to maintain warmth, don't have the defenses to handle threats, and don't have a way back without help. Staying close to the mother isn't instilled through training. It's wired in from the beginning as one of the first behavioral directives the nervous system establishes. What makes your cat's room-following behavior meaningful is what it costs them. Cats are not social followers by default. They're territorial, self-directed animals who are entirely capable of sitting alone in a comfortable spot for hours without seeking anyone out. When your cat chooses to trail you from room to room instead, they're overriding that default. Their brain is running an assessment and arriving at the same conclusion every time. The safest location in this environment is wherever you are. That's not dependence. That's the clearest possible definition of trust. 5. They choose you over every other comfortable spot in the house. Think about the sleeping options available to your cat. A dedicated cat bed, warm patches of sunlight on the floor, the back of the couch, that one specific cardboard box, the top shelf they worked so hard to claim. And yet, when the house quiets down and it's actually time to sleep, they come find you. Sleep is when this choice matters most. An animal that sleeps is an animal that cannot react to threats. Every survival instinct a cat carries is oriented around finding the most secure, concealed, protected location before closing their eyes. In evolutionary terms, the ideal sleeping spot is hidden and defensible. Not in the open, not pressed against a large, moving creature, not dependent on someone else's stillness. Your cat ignores all of that to sleep next to you. What this means, behaviorally, is that your presence overrides their risk assessment. Their nervous system has evaluated you and categorized you not as a variable to manage, but as a source of safety reliable enough to sleep beside. Research into feline attachment has documented that a substantial majority of cats who bond closely with a primary caregiver show sleep proximity behaviors consistent with patterns seen between kittens and their mothers, oriented toward, pressed against, or physically touching their attachment figure. When your cat wedges themselves into the curve of your legs at midnight, they aren't just finding a warm spot. They're making a decision that their nervous system only permits them to make when they trust something completely. 6. They go quiet, look at you, and let their eyes close. This is the one we've been building toward, and it's the one most people have been experiencing for years without knowing what it was. You're in the same room as your cat. Nothing particular is happening. You glance over, and they're already watching you. Not with the alert, wide-eyed focus of a cat tracking movement, but with a softer, more deliberate gaze, and then slowly their eyelids lower. Not all the way, just halfway. A long and hurried blink, and then they're looking at you again the same way. To understand why this matters, you have to understand what eye contact means to a cat by default. In feline communication, a direct, sustained stare is a signal of tension, a challenge, or a threat assessment. Closing your eyes in that moment, in front of another creature, is the opposite signal entirely. It says, I am not reading you as a danger. I am not preparing to react. I am, in this moment, choosing to be unguarded in front of you. For an animal whose alertness is one of its primary survival assets, that choice is not casual. Research has confirmed that cats slow, blink significantly more toward people they're bonded with than toward strangers, and that when their person returns the gesture, cats show increased approach behavior and relaxed body posture in response. It functions as an exchange, an acknowledgement that moves in both directions. Your cat has probably done this with you hundreds of times. Every time they did, they were starting a conversation. A slow close of the eyes that meant I see you. I'm not afraid, I'm glad you're here. Most owners spent years receiving that message without knowing it was being sent. Now you know. And the next time it happens, you can answer back. The behaviors on this list aren't random. They're not coincidences of comfort or proximity. They are, each one of them, things your cat does specifically because of who you are to them. Things that were shaped in the earliest days of their life and redirected toward you the moment you became their person. Your cat never stopped being a kitten in the ways that matter most. They just grew up and chose you to be safe with. If this gave you a new way of seeing your cat, share it with someone who has one. They might be missing these moments every single day, and now they don't have to.